The old regime, as you know, was based on a traditional society. A very different society, because it was based on a privileged states, so social groups, and non-privileged states, so non-social groups. You cannot change your social status, your state, but this is the old regime. This is the way Europe worked. During the 18th century, it existed a group of intellectuals that started questioning and asking about the way the society is worked. So it's a process, a very, very slow process, that actually it began in the 15th century with the humanism that you studied last year. And in the 18th century, these intellectuals, they are questioning, and they created a movement, a thinking movement called the Enlightenment. It was a French ideology, actually, and it was characterized by the criticism and reasoning. One of the most important Enlightenment thinkers were René Descartes, you can see here, and his ideas were based on the rationalism. The Enlightenment thinkers thought everything must be reasoned, so you cannot give a conclusion without a reasoning process. And at the same time, they criticized the society, this absolutist society, and this clergy society. According to this ideology, there is a huge opposition between the principle of authority, you can see there, and progress. For Enlightenment thinkers, the progress is something humanity needs, and the principle of authority is something typical from the old regime. So nobility and clergy, they have the authority, and the bourgeoisie, this group in the third estate, from the non-privileged state, the third estate, the richest people from the third estate, they are also the most cultivated people in the third estate, and they are aiming for the progress. So these groups of people, they will oppose. There will be a contrast and an opposition. These Enlightenment thinkers, they will meet and they will criticize, and they just will question how the laws are created, why the church has these privileges, and if that's reasonable or it is not. So they will use the education. They will be interested in culture, and at the same time they are getting more and more cultivated. They will think more and more. So there we can summarize the principles, the Enlightenment ethical principles, what they wanted. So, and is more or less they are the same principles we have nowadays. For example, they think we must use reason. That means I'm not going to convince you that you must do something unless I explain to you and I convince you. So they say reason is one of the most important things, because it's something only human beings can do. So animals cannot reasoning. So perhaps the reason it's the most important gift that God gave to human beings. So we must use it. Another one is the happiness. They think the human beings, they must try to find happiness and to be happy. And of course for that, they need, human beings, people need freedom. And this freedom is used to get this happiness. Of course, there are different cultures and different people, different ideas, different opinions. So because of that, we must be tolerant. Because of that, we must respect different ideas, different political ideas, different religions, different beliefs. So this tolerance means the importance of the different human rights. Of course, one principle that I said before, it's the progress. And the progress means human beings need more and more better material conditions to be happy. Of course, you cannot be happy if you are hungry. If you don't have something to eat, you won't be happy. If you don't have a house and it's too cold in winter or too hot in summer, you cannot be happy. So for the Enlightenment thinkers, they think this progress means better and better living conditions, and that will lead to the progress. How can we achieve all of these things? So during the 18th century, Enlightenment thinkers said only education can lead us to achieve these different principles. Because without education, people cannot reason properly, they won't be happy, they don't feel they need to be free, because if they don't have education, they don't know they have different rights, and of course they won't be they won't tolerate all the different ideas, and of course the progress will be completely impossible. So education will be one of the main goals of the Enlightenment thinkers. That means the church shouldn't be allowed to educate, because till that moment it was the church, because the church were the most cultivated people. So the most cultivated people were from the clergy. They were monks, they were priests, so they were the teachers who taught everything. But of course, they taught from the religious point of view. So Enlightenment thinkers said the church shouldn't be teaching people, the church shouldn't be helping people to pray and to feel their religion much better.